This is my review of the Ruger M77 Heavy barrel, 22-inch, chambered in 243 Winchester. I was looking for a new rifle, and I had heard through the grapevine, I had heard good, bad, indifferent. I had heard so many stories about this particular gun. But every single story I'd heard about the 243 version of this gun was that it was one of the best bench guns ever built, meaning that it had extreme high ratings in MOA, but that it only fired very good ammunition, which I actually proved to myself today. It is the M77. For anyone who's not familiar, it was Ruger's gun. They basically copied the Mauser design. You can get a flat bolt or a round bolt version of this gun. The earlier versions were the more sought after versions because of the true heavy barrels, and the quality of craftsmanship by today's standards would cost thousands. This is a surprisingly accurate gun. I took it out today and tried several different rounds. I tried the Hornady 70 grain and 100 grain versions of the 243, which this gun didn't like at all. The 70 grain was a little bit more accurate with the Hornady, but with the 100 grain, not at all. It was a joke. It was ridiculous. I was sighting it in, since it was my first time taking it out, with this Leopold scope, and it proved with the Federal Premium V-Shock 70 grain. I do have some hundreds as well, but I have yet to try the 100 grain. But with the 70 grain, I was shooting about 0.6 MOA at 100 yards. It was absolutely incredible. I've shot some really good competition guns that I didn't shoot that well. I'm a, average shooter. I'd like to think I can be a good shooter. It depends on my mood, depends on my level of patience. But I would give the M77 in 243 in this version. Now, my version is an early version. I bought this used, very lightly used. It's in excellent condition. And it is based on the serial number, somewhere between 1979 and 1980 version of this gun. It's got the Tang Safety, which, for those of us who have been around for a long time, for accuracy, messing with the one at the end of the bolt, I hated that one. I refused to buy one. So when I had heard that this one had come up for sale, I went after it, and I gotta say, I was a little bit worried. The throat had a little chatter, a couple of alligator marks, so it looked like it had been shot, but not a lot. It just looked like it had been shot enough that, and somebody had gone in and out with the rounds pretty damn hard, so there was a little bit of chatter in the throat, but it was really, really pretty gun otherwise. The bluing is all in perfect condition. The only wear in the bluing is, of course, at the muzzle, because that's where, you get your flash. So anyway, all in all, I would give this a 8 out of 10. The only thing I'd ever give a 10 is a true competition gun, but chambered in 243 using the Federal Premium V-Shock ammo, the M77 is probably one of the best hunting guns ever made. And it's a great range gun. I mean, if you want to sit there and compete with your friends all day at the range and maybe do a little bit of hustling, people will think you don't know what you're doing with the M77. They'll be very surprised. So that's my review of the 1980 early version, Tang Safety version of the Sturm Luger M77 Heavy barrel, 22-inch barrel, with the Federal Premium V-Shock 70 grain ammo.